So what are you doing? Nothing? Why not?
Trying to get on this Lifestyle Radio website.
Sounds like a cool website.
Yeah, it's alright. Oh, wait, I might have it.
You might have it.
You're listening to Lifestyle Radio.
Good evening. I'm Coulter Wonkite. I'm already into the 420, damn it.
You like music, you like weed, well, we gonna be good friends indeed. This is how much I like more than smoking trees. They'll make you dance the do-si-do and teach you how the chiva grows. Smoke a bowl on the 420 radio show. On Lifestyle Radio.
Actually, I do have that. Oh, yeah, very funny, Marcel. I do have that as my ringtone for somebody I don't want to say. An old co-host. Let's just say that. This is the 420 Radio Show. We are live on lifestyleradio.net, and we are here with the folks from Pace Radio Show, Al, Graham, and Debbie. I'm just going to say Debbie because I don't want to embarrass myself trying to pronounce your last name, Deb.
You can't say Stultz-Giffin?
No, I have dyslexia. It's like writing a check for me.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right, Debbie.
Yeah, I avoid things like the plague. Welcome to the show,
That's why you don't
guys.
say my last name.
No, that's exactly why. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thanks.
Thanks, and welcome. Thank you for having us on.
Yeah. I am just going to bump you guys up in the audio department here.
So we can hear you.
Yeah. That should be better.
How's that?
That's much better, actually. Lori, you're here?
Yes, I'm here.
Hi,
hello,
Lori.
folks.
I didn't say hi to Lori or Deb. Hi, Lori and Deb.
Hi, Al.
We're going to be sitting here chatting, like we do up here in Canada, about all things cannabis in Canada. We are actually going coast to coast right now because Al is out in BC, aren't you, Al? Or somewhere?
No, I'm in Ontario.
Oh, man, come on. You just ruined it. You could have lied.
Sorry, man.
I thought you were out west.
West, Deb.
I thought you were out west.
Lori moved to BC this morning.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's it. Yeah, Lori's out in BC.
Wouldn't that be nice, though?
You ruined my little segment there, Al.
Sorry, man.
So much for coast to coast. Well, we got half the country covered.
Yeah. Nice to finally have you on the fucking show, man.
Where in Ontario are you at, Al?
Whereabouts in Ontario? I'm a couple hours east of Toronto.
Yeah, I'm a couple hours west of Toronto.
Yeah. I'm in a little town we call it Toonie Town. We actually have a 25-foot toonie in our downtown.
Oh, I
sort of like the big nickel up in Sudbury. We have a giant toonie.
I know exactly where you are.
Why?
Because the guy who designed the bear on the back of the toonie was from our town.
Oh, okay.
You're playing to fame.
Correct, yes. Yeah, on top of our chocolate factory as well.
Oh, bonus.
Chocolate?
Chocolate, yeah.
Did you bring enough for everybody?
Yeah,
Did you bring samples?
Yes, got some medicated stuff here, but unfortunately it's not available in the store.
Damn.
A couple hours east of Toronto, anywhere near the Big Apple?
Yeah, I'm about half an hour northeast of the Big Apple.
Well, you know what? I have to stick this in. That big, huge fucking chair that you see on all the tourism brochures for Ontario?
Yes.
I live near there.
Yeah. Big chair, man.
You guys sound like you're from Texas. Big toonies, big chairs. Everything bigger in Ontario, guys?
Oh, yeah.
They say that about our buds.
Well, they're making up for something, obviously.
There's big things everywhere. There's a Big Apple on the side of the highway at the apple pie factory, and I think it's a Big Goose in Wawa, isn't it?
Yes, there is. There is a Big Goose up in Wawa.
So you can go to Wawa and get goosed.
Correct.
A giant nickel in Sudbury.
Yeah, giant nickel in Sudbury, big toonie where Al lives. It's amazing.
Yeah,
you know what we have here? Nothing.
Okay, thank you for coming. Thank you for listening.
Yeah, they're not ours. The power goes to the States from those, so we don't need those. We just get the eyesore of them.
Well, we were supposed to get that big Mother Canada statue in Cape Breton.
What happened?
Jesus!
What happened with that?
Go there. That's a
Mother Goose or something it was called?
Mother Canada, I think.
Mother Canada.
Oh, that was an abomination, man. They're not actually building that, are they?
Is that thing, it's like Mother Teresa standing there with her hands up or something like that, looking over the coast?
Yes.
Yeah. I thought that was real.
I saw it reported. One guy said,
that's what they want to start building.
Oh,
they build it like that, and all anybody that lives there will be able to see is their arse.
Go to Spain if you want to see something like that. There's one already there.
It's only going to take a year for the whole thing to be covered in seagull shit anyway.
Wow.
Exactly.
Seriously, I mean, they're going to build it in Cape Breton right on the coast. It's going to have shit.
Well, yeah.
Oh.
So, how about we start the show?
Sure.
Yeah, how about it?
Okay. So, yeah. So,
So we got 2 on the East Coast and 3 in Ontario. What's going on down on the East Coast around our medicine recently? Any big news down your way, or Deb?
Well, we've had some more patients in court who've been caught between the cracks of the Allard injunction and the time frame that Health Canada tried to shut down the personal gardens. One couple just received their disclosure last week, and while a group of us were in court doing court support with them, we heard of a second couple who were both legal patients who had been busted and subsequently charged, and their charges have all been dismissed on the grounds, from what we could fathom, faulty search warrants.
Oh,
so
really?
we've been fairly busy in court. James McDonald was back in court in September, and then again the 1st of October, and has a date for his trial. He's pled, not pled. That's a whole other case. He's appealing.
That's the 60-day sentence.
Yes, he was a patient who was incarcerated or sentenced to 60 days, incarcerated for slightly less in the winter of this year. Never should have been sent to jail in the first place. He had ineffectual counsel who basically forced him to plead guilty, and then, long story short, basically jerked him around and didn't give him any representation at all, promised him he'd get nothing more than either house arrest or probation, and he ended up with jail time.
The amount of money they're wasting on but arresting and prosecuting and incarcerating sick people who have had authorization at some point in the past is just absurd.
Well, it's ridiculous. I mean, provincial incarceration is $171 a day. Most people end up doing provincial time. So here are the provinces being forced on their dime to pay for this ineffectual federal drug policy.
That's ridiculous.
Just makes no sense.
Exactly.
And it looked like we were going to go baby steps forward for a little while, and now we're going backwards again. I mean, they've started ramping up. They're going after the dispensaries now. They're going after actual patients now too. So I thought they were supposed to.
We're finding a slowdown here.
Okay, well, you know what?
It's the season to bust the gardens, also, right? So
let me ask you all a question. Okay, the conversation around the trimming table last week was. What do I actually have now? I had a pink piece of paper. I'm told that now that I have a Section 56. What does that entitle me to? Can I get away with growing my own meds? Let's see if we can touch base on something like that, because I know that a lot of my friends who are licensed are asking me that question. What can I get away with?
Seriously?
Seriously.
In all honesty?
Yep.
If you are capable enough to defend your medical use in a court of law, you're not limited to anything.
I would agree, yeah. What we have to do, I think, can I just say, thank you very much to Mum for all their initiative with the court support and everybody getting out and sticking up for each other, because that, to me, that's awesome. It shows that there is a community that will stand up for each other, and I think what we need to start doing as a community is start to educate people to be able to defend themselves rather than count on people that really have no knowledge about our medicine, the situation, the legal situation, the programs that have been in place, the injunctions that have happened, the court cases that are going on. Like, you can cite so many things. Just, Marcel, have at her.
I just like to throw in the average lawyer that you encounter doesn't really know that much about cannabis law and what's going on. No. So
that's
patients
problem,
end up having to do a lot of education right there.
Yeah, I mean, it's a two-tiered kind of hit in the head. We're battling our doctors and our legal. You know?
Do you want to know the best term that somebody could use in a court on their first appearance? Is to say, I'm going to represent myself, but to prevent me from making procedural errors in court, I will accept a lawyer to act as co-counsel. And that will be enough to scare the prosecutor away. Yeah,
because that way you have
control over your case.
Part. Exactly, right.
So it'd be like somebody going into court and just using duty counsel?
No, what you do is you can get a duty counsel. You can ask for a duty counsel, but you're representing yourself.
Well, yeah,
all you want them for is to
be beside you,
not insult the court with procedural errors.
Yeah, right. So
and the reason for this is your lawyer can't do a plea deal bargain with the prosecutor without you being present.
Sure, right.
As co-counsel, you have to, right.
Because they're your co-counsel. So you have to be in the same meeting for any plea deals.
That's much better than what I was going to suggest, in that if anybody has the wherewithal to be able to defend themselves, you can.
Now,
legally, all the way up to the appellate Supreme Court.
Take a lawyer with you.
Here's my next question, though.
Right. That would be the way to do it, yes.
If you're going to use what do they call it now when you get a lawyer on the house?
Legal aid.
Okay. If you're going to get legal aid, can you actually still represent yourself, though? Because there must be some kind of a loophole in there that you're not allowed to use legal aid because they've got to pay for it and represent yourself. It's either one or the other.
I haven't seen anything written anywhere on it yet.
Okay.
No, neither have I.
Okay.
You'd have to.
I don't think the use of legal aid would exclude you from having an active part in your own defense.
Exactly.
That's what I'm thinking, because then they would have to agree to just sit by and guide you. And
that's right. Yeah. All I'd want a lawyer for, and I would actually end up paying a lawyer because I already have one that I would use. Well, I actually have a choice of 3 that I could use, depending on which road I wanted to how much damage I wanted to do. But I would use them to do all of the written submissions.
So you get it all right, or you could hire a law student.
But I mean, I wouldn't do a quash motion.
No,
because if they're going to charge me, I don't want it quashed. I want to fight it out because I'm going to make a change.
Yeah.
Well, you and I have had this conversation, Marcel, about our organization and the lawyer that we have retained, and basically we've told all our members that if you're in a position where you have been arrested, let us know, because if you want to carry it on, we have members who would be more than willing to take a charter challenge if they are ever charged. Our lawyer was very quick to explain that if you take the government to court, they're going to drag their heels as hard and as long as they possibly can. Whereas if you were charged, they're going to work as fast and as expediently as possible to try to get you through the system. So if you are defending yourself, you have a lot better, or not defending yourself, but if you are in a place where you are defending yourself rather than taking action against the government, it's faster, it's cheaper, it's more effective.
You know, we watched NJ Weedman basically get taken down over and over and over again down in the States, and now they seem to be leaving him alone because he's, you know,
winning.
Well, I mean, he won his jury nullification, and now he's got his own restaurant and vapor lounge, and you know, I mean, good for him, you know.
Right. But it wasn't cheap for him either.
Oh God, no! It left him homeless, literally.
Exactly.
It left him homeless.
Through all that,
it was horrible. I mean, he was over the last several years while he was going through that. Pretty much, he started coming on the show quite a bit and telling us what was going on. I mean, he was flat out fucking homeless after they threw him out of the Liberty Bell Temple. He had nowhere to go.
Yeah.
You know, and then he went to home. And he gets busted again.
Yeah.
Like, they came at him from every fucking angle. And I've heard stories that they've done that here too. Look what they did with Mark.
Yep.
You know,
they try to attack you from everywhere and financially bankrupt you so that you can't afford to hire lawyers and stuff.
Well, yeah, exactly, Al. And it's sickening. It's sickening to me because I'm in one of those situations where I'm in housing. I'm on ODSP. I'm disabled. I have nowhere to go from here. But yet I've chosen to use cannabis as my medicine, and everybody knows it. Everybody knows it in the building. Everybody knows it in my life, and that's just how it is.
Yeah.
But I am a single man. The only thing I have to worry about is that my dog's fed every day. And I could take the hit, but there are hundreds of thousands of Canadians out there that we don't know about that can't take that hit. It's not even Canadians. It's, around the world.
Yeah.
They aren't in a situation where they can take that hit. And for somebody to stand up and take a hit like that, there's so many people that have done it. Jeff, is it Mazinski? Is that how you pronounce his last name?
Yeah, POW from the U.S. Yeah.
Yeah, he was just released after what, 14,
20 years?
20, was it 20 years?
Yeah, 20, 25 years, somewhere in there. Correct. Yeah, there's a whole pile of people who are serving time for cannabis and a totally non-violent crime.
And they're sticking more people in now, and because up here, I mean, like they're laying off in the States.
Yeah, it was I think it's 30% since Harper took over, 30 or 40%. The arrests here in Canada have gone up since he's taken over in 2006. And I don't know if you saw the report there recently. It came out. It's not as often as in the U.S., but here they say it's like every 9 minutes or something. There's a arrest for cannabis.
It's ridiculous.
I saw that.
Yeah, it's it's not like the U.S. where it's it's under a minute, but every 9 minutes that's a police officer that's off the street that could be looking after serious crime instead of dealing with a situation. Like an example, I have a friend of mine who's 70 years of age, and he has been busted twice for having 2 or 3 joints.
Oh, for God's sake.
Yeah, and he went before the courts, and the judge just looked at the Crown and his lawyer that was there. I think he had duty counsel, and just shook his head like, "What's this guy doing here in front of me? It's just a waste. You guys can work this out." He ended up having 5 hours of community service time where he got to play a guitar and sing in front of elderly people at a home.
And he probably enjoyed every minute of it.
He did. He went back and did a second session, so he put 10 hours in because he had such a good time.
Well, there you go.
There you go. But it's a total waste of taxpayers' dollars to convict this guy of 2 joints.
Yeah.
And the officers' time when they could be out doing some real serious crime investigation.
I'm a victim of the 60s in Toronto, Al. And, I've been walking up and down this Yonge Street all my life smelling pot.
Yeah.
And then it stopped. The whole 90s. It just stopped. And now you walk around the city of Toronto again and you're smelling pot. It's, I don't know, people's minds are changing, but not changing quick enough.
You do smell the cannabis around the streets here and there within the city, but it's also Toronto has got a quite amount of vapor lounges.
Oh, sure,
which are allowing people places to go where they can socialize and get together, and that takes them off the street.
Yep.
And puts them in a friendly, relaxing location.
I used to go into the what's it called? Vapor Central there.
Vapor Central, yes.
Way back when.
Yes.
I was in there a few times. I've been in since, and it's too packed. It's too packed now.
They've just gone through a renovation. They just tore
I heard.
Just tore it all apart, and they've redone it. And I plan on visiting it in the next week or two.
Yeah, I haven't been down into the city since they've reopened.
No, I haven't.
I saw when they took the bar out. I was there when they had the bar in, and then they took the bar out. I liked it better when the bar was in, but hey, whatever.
Yeah.
It's a very eclectic city, and I wish that there were small towns that had things like that too. Because I mean, I'm in a small town of 2,500 people, and the closest vapor lounge to me would probably be London or Barrie.
London or Barrie.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yep. No, that's not true. There's Cheryl's Place there in Woodstock.
Woodstock, okay.
Yeah.
The smallest one, I have a brochure that we hand out for PACE, and we have it in businesses that we deal with. And we have a list of vapor lounges in there, and we've got 14 or 15 lounges in it, just here in Ontario. And you're mentioning some that I don't even have. So,
wow, there's a lot of them.
And BuzzOn is open up again.
Have they?
And it's all being, obviously there's no problems. You're not hearing about any issues, destruction of property or any violence or anything.
Yeah.
All these places are operating, and when people find out, they're surprised. But they do very good service to the community. Owners involved in the BIAs and stuff in their areas. So, they help out.
I was in Vapor Central, chatting with Chris about a thing we were going to do there, and all of a sudden, 3 cops show, just standing there in the doorway, at the top of the stairs, all bicycle cops, and the first thing out of their mouth was, "We're not here for the weed. The music downstairs on the speaker's a little bit loud, and your neighbors are complaining."
They really are. It's look at the Hot Box Cafe. They've been there for 12 years.
Yeah, I've never been, but I mean, I know they're there. Yeah.
Yeah, and they're just it's just been they've been accepted. They've been normalized. And like I said, they're helping out the communities. They're creating jobs.
Yeah. And there's even on Yonge Street there. Actually, I don't know if it's on Yonge Street or not. But there's a grilled cheese vapor lounge as well in Toronto now as well.
Oh, Get Melted.
Yeah, Get Melted.
Yeah, that's over on Church Street.
Is it? That's Neve's place, right?
Pardon me?
That's Neve's place, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes. The lounge, when I was in there, you went in the front door, you could order they have multiple different kinds of grilled cheese sandwiches and like sort of like dinners that you can have, or dishes, I guess you could say. And upstairs is the lounge, and I see they opened up a patio as well.
I've not been in. I mean, I keep meaning to go in, but when you take the kid down to the city, you can't just run away and go to a vapor lounge.
No, and I can tell you, it's hard to cover 4 of them in a day. You have to take several days in order to try to cover them all.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
I'd like to do a tour of Ontario vapor lounges. Actually, just kind of take a weekend and just kind of drive around and go to them.
You couldn't do them all in a weekend.
No, you couldn't, could you?
No,
because you've got to think that there's very likely a vapor lounge sitting in Thunder Bay.
And Ontario is huge.
Yes, it is.
Ontario is a big
I know.
honking province when you got to drive around that lake.
Well, even Shea Willie's up in Moonbeam. That's like a 10-hour drive for me.
Wow. That's a lot. I go up to Terrace Bay every now and then. I've family up there, and that's a 17-hour drive for me.
Yeah.
18 if I go through Tobermory.
I don't go to vapor lounges.
I don't either.
My house is a private vapor lounge.
Yeah, exactly.
Correct. Yes.
Actually, when I was saying how far to the closest vapor lounge, I was thinking, I know a good friend of yours that's probably the closest one to you. Like, yeah, I don't either. I've been to many once or twice.
Yeah. I covered them for Treating Yourself magazine. I did a 17 or 19 page article for TY on all the lounges that were in the city at the time.
And how long ago was that, Al?
2013.
Okay, so that's and how many more are there now?
Well, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 9. I've got 9 listed here in Toronto right now, and at that time, there's I've got 1, 2, 3 of these, which would be Melonheads, Get Melted, and Planet Paradise, weren't even in Toronto at the time. But Vape on the Lake, Vapor Central, Hotbox Cafe, Underground Comedy Club, Vapor Social.
I've not heard of that one.
Since then, there were 2 that actually, the Zion Lounge, it closed, and the Vapor Village, it closed as well.
What's happening at Sean's place? Is that back open?
That's the Melonheads?
Yeah.
That I'm not 100% sure on. From my understanding, from what I'm seeing, it is open.
Okay.
I was in there, I don't know, about before all this came down, and the lounge is up on the 2nd and 3rd floor.
Okay.
Of the place.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah.
I did work at one for a little while there in Kingston at 420 Session when they opened.
Did you?
Yes. It's open today from 12 noon till 12 a.m.
Oh, there you go.
There you go. So they're open again.
My apartment is the only apartment in the building where you can smoke cigarettes, because I got grandfathered in when they went non-smoking in the building. So my buddies kind of pile in here from the building.
Oh, so you're the smoking room?
I'm the smoking room, yeah.
Dude, you should be the vapor lounge.
I'm the building vapor lounge.
$5 a day.
No.
$5 a head. Come on in.
Yeah.
Cover your power costs for all the vaporizers.
You hear that, guys? $5 now. You got to knock on my door. You must have 5. Well, they can keep coming over and smoking with me. So
was that you?
I've got a lot to choose from, so I'll make the offer. If you want to come visit mine, is $20.
$20. Yeah, thanks, buddy.
Well, yeah, but I don't like having people smoke their own stuff in my house because it stinks. So you have to smoke mine too.
Oh, okay. What were you saying, Al?
I said, what unit in the building are you? Are you unit 420?
No, but you know what? Our call line is the last 4 digits are 2420, and it took me 3.5 hours of going through Skype numbers to get it.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, really?
That's
determination.
That's really wanting those numbers to spend that much time.
Dedication.
That's right. Exactly.
Yeah. I've had that number for 6 years, maybe now.
Yeah.
Yeah. How long have you been doing your show?
The radio show?
Yeah.
Pace Radio Show is actually next week is our 2nd anniversary.
Really?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. I've
the anniversary show.
The Time for Hemp broadcast network that we're on is just 2 years old. Mind you, Time for Hemp itself has been broadcasting with the American Freedom Radio Network, and as well as podcasts and stuff.
Yeah.
For several years. Time for Hemp's like 25 years old as far as.
I met Casper at the last Toronto Freedom Festival, and he's been on the show. He was on the show, 6-8 years ago. You know.
Oh, really? Eh?
Well, I've been doing this for 8 years. This is my 8th season doing this. So.
I seen that on your website.
Yeah.
On your website, you said it was your 8th anniversary. Great. That's great.
I don't even remember half the people that have been on the show.
No, you probably don't. A lot of people probably come and go, and it's always nice probably to look at your
it's because he's stoned.
Your archives to see all the different people you've had.
I'm running. I have loaded right now and it trips at 420 every day. I have 50 shows from the last 8 years. Some of them crap, some of them okay.
Yeah, that happens, especially with live radio. As Debbie can tell you, the first year that we were doing the Pace Radio show, it was live, and all kinds of technical gremlins can attack.
But you know what? You just go with the flow. We get a lot of times we'll end up with a lot of unexplained dead air.
Yeah, and I had. Well, let's see.
And then we have people in the chat room that yell at us that it's dead air.
Oh, and then when Russell Barth is on, that's always fun too.
Russell, have you, Al and Deb, have you guys had Russell Barth on for a show yet?
Yeah, I had him on the show.
Yeah. I believe I interviewed him, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I believe so. And
it wasn't a live show, was it?
Was it a live show? That I couldn't tell you.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be awfully surprised if it wasn't.
Yeah.
Because that would have been in the first year when I think they were all live shows.
Yeah.
Just been the last year that they haven't been, isn't it, Al?
Yeah, it's only been the last year that they haven't. I'm just trying to... I'm at the archives of our radio show.
I'm going to out
think
Russell.
It was probably before the MMPR kicked into...
Yeah.
Before the Allard injunction.
Oh, yeah? So, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was.
Well, I thought you had been doing the show for a lot longer than that.
No, I've done, I got 2 years with as the Pace Radio show. Mm-hmm. And I also spent a few years helping out with Casper as far as being a joint host on his programs when he was broadcasting on the American Freedom Radio Network. So I was involved with them there. And I actually spent 2 years doing a segment on regular terrestrial radio out of a Belleville radio station for 2 years, where I did a live and a recorded cannabis news podcast.
Okay, cool.
That went out to just regular people that were listening to stuff on the radio.
Cool.
So
I've enjoyed it. I mean, I like. We've had some different people on before.
You really do. You meet a lot of interesting people, and I have to throw the kudos out to the joint hosts of the Pace Radio show that do find these our guests and bring interesting conversation and things that people probably don't even expect to hear, and all of a sudden you got somebody who's involved in even cannabis marketing and come up with some big program I've seen flashed around on the internet right now. But to be able to talk to people about stuff that people don't even know exists, it helps educate them, and it's all about educating people.
It's also nice to meet people, and not to mention the co-hosts that I've had. I mean, Lori's been around, about 3 years now. Lori came on for an interview and she stayed. and then she quit on me last year, bitch.
Yeah, I took a little break there when I was.
That was because she set me up after begging for a year for me to come on, and then as soon as I come on, she quit. You bitch.
But we had Amy King on with us for a little while. I did the show for almost 4 years with Amy Brown.
Oh, right.
Yeah, and then
I know Amy. Yes,
and then, but you see, we came out of when Dave and Brian and I first started doing this, we were just three potheads wanting to get high and talk on the radio and listen to tunes and do funny shit with telemarketers and stuff. And now we have Stuffy.
Stuffy, all we talk about is cannabis all the time.
Yeah, we just can't stop talking about that fucking grass.
Yeah,
I've got it perfect. I have a topic I want everybody's opinion of tonight.
I was just going to bring that up. I was going to say, why don't we take a break, and we'll come back, because Lori wanted to have a topic to discuss. What's the topic we're going to talk about, though, Lori?
The news reports that I've seen in the last few days about Tommy Chong coming out saying that cannabis suppositories cured his prostate cancer but gave him rectal cancer.
Oh, I never heard that.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I saw that as well.
I'd like to discuss that after the break, Al.
Let's please. Yeah, that's the first I'm hearing about it. I am just loading everything here.
Got a good song?
Yeah, The Monks, Drug in My Pocket.
There you go. That'll work.
Yeah, there you go. We also we're going to listen to the Cannonball Run PSA, and then we're going to listen to some Monks, and then we'll be back. This is the 420 Radio Show. We are live on lifestyleradio.net. Anybody in the chat room, Marcel?
Yeah, Hillary's still in there. Just me and Hillary chatting, but a guest has just entered and hasn't figured out how to change their name yet.
Cool. Hi, Hillary. We'll be back.
Has just entered and hasn't figured out how to change their name yet.
Cool. Hi, Hillary.
The Cannonball Run for Vets will be leaving the city of Los Angeles on October 17th, heading toward our nation's capital. We'll be stopping in Denver, Austin, Nashville, Atlanta, and Philadelphia. At each of these stops, we'll have a 5K boot run, followed by an evening reception networking event. Veterans and military families will share their experiences, and will be joined by leading researchers, educators, advocates, and legal minds. For this cross-country campaign, we're estimating our costs to be between $40,000 to $50,000. We factored in gas, lodging, food, marketing material, permits and fees, and costs associated with venues in each city. We've got a great list of incentives and perks for our donors, including original artwork, T-shirts, accessories, backstage passes, and more. We call on our leadership to investigate the impact of legal pharmaceuticals carelessly prescribed by the Veterans Health Association. We need them to acknowledge the damage inflicted on our military families by these legal drugs. Our country has an obligation to our volunteers and needs to do what is right by them. In a situation such as this, every hour a human toll is rising. We are a nation awash in the blood of our dead patriots. Veterans are roughly 7% of the population in our country, yet they account for more than an estimated 20% of the national suicide rate. As federal patients, we require that cannabis be recognized by the VA as a viable alternative to dangerous SSRIs, opiates, and other commonly prescribed drugs. We know from recent reports that cannabis has statistically lowered the overdose suicide death rates in states where it is legally accessible. As federal patients, we require federal access. On Veterans Day, November 11th in Washington, D.C., veterans are taking their empty pill bottles to the White House on Pennsylvania Avenue. We intend to make a strong statement when we dump out our trash bags of empty pill bottles collected along our cross-country journey. Afterwards, we will pause for a moment of cannabis reflection to remember those we have lost and those we continue to lose daily. Please join us in D.C. this Veterans Day and help us in our fight for safe access and compassionate care. We start our march at Benjamin Franklin Park at 1100 EST. Together, we can make a difference. Thank you for your support.
All the drugs in my pocket, I'll tell you what to got some real hard drugs. All the way from Jamaica to some Brixton. Try some of these. Oh, I'll have a go. Hang on. Cool, that's alright, isn't it?
That was Lori counting down. This is the 420 radio show. Be very quiet. Shh. Shh.
Very, very quiet.
I am really over-medicated, and I am sitting here with Marcel and Lori and our guests, Al and Deb. And we are talking about cannabis. Funny that, huh? Lori's got a topic that she wants to discuss, debate, or otherwise have us listen to her talk about. But I have a question first. What's everybody smoking?
Oh, me tonight? I'm smoking hash.
Humber Valley Kush. And some Humber Valley Kush shatter.
I'm on a mango bubblegum and lamb's bread salad.
Wow. I don't know what it is I've got in my vaporizer. What do you have, Deb?
Candy Kush.
Ooh, I've tried that. That's nice.
I've got mystery hash because what I've got is all the scissor hash. And I've got all these little balls, and they're all mixed up from all the different strains. So I'll just crush up a few balls and let her go.
I was out helping a friend trim last week, and when I came home, my fingers were lined with hash.
Oh, yeah.
I wear gloves.
Yeah. No. I quite enjoy driving down the road eating.
Chewing on your finger.
Looking good.
Yeah.
Finger looking good. That's right.
Scraping it off on the back of your teeth as you're driving. I can just imagine.
That's exactly what was going on. So let's talk about what you wanted to talk about, because it's a pretty important subject.
Okay, in the news in the last few days, there has been, I was just looking 3 or 4 different articles that I found regarding Tommy Chong and his cancer. Originally, he had prostate cancer, and he came out publicly and said that he had cured it with cannabis oil suppositories. Now he's come out and saying that he has rectal cancer, and he suspects it's the cannabis oil suppositories because they weren't good enough or right or something.
No,
and what I saw, basically the thing I saw was alluding to the fact that, alluding to him saying that the new regulations in California will be good because there's standards and things that people are going to follow, and you'll know what you get.
Right. He's saying what he's using now is medically approved cannabis oil suppositories versus what he was using before,
which is
just cannabis oil suppositories that was made not in a lab specifically for medicine, so he doesn't know what was in it.
Oh, right. Okay, so it was mystery suppositories, like mystery oil that most people are buying on the internet and shit?
Mystery
Very likely,
meat.
yes. Exactly that.
Mystery meat.
Now, here's the problem that I have with buying oil on the internet, and I tell people all the time, if you want oil, make your own because you can't trust anybody.
No.
The only way you can tell or the quickest way you can tell whether an oil is potent or not is to smoke it. The problem is you can cut oil 20 times and still get a buzz when you smoke it. And what you cut it with, or what they cut it with, can be anything and everything. And it maximizes profits for them because, well, you're still going to get high. So you won't be able to tell the difference.
Nothing like rubbing a little bit of tranny fluid on that where you think you got pure oil.
I had somebody come to me and tell me that they watched somebody that made oil and sold it put super glue in it.
Oh.
What?
Wow.
For what?
To expand it.
It's trying to expand it up.
And it keeps it at the same consistency.
Oh, for God's sake.
So it always looks good.
It always looks awesome.
Yeah.
Well, you know.
Now, whoever's listening, don't you fucking dare go out and cut your fucking oil with super glue, because if I find out, I'll punch you right in the head. There you go.
I'd do more than punch the person.
That was like I had somebody that left something here one time, and thank heavens it was in a plastic bag. I preload syringes with my concentrate that I make, and it sits like that for months. And I never have a problem. This ate through the rubber and leaked all out and into the bag, and
solvent.
I was really concerned about what she's being given.
It's a residual solvent.
Had to be.
Yeah.
I've never
likely it was isopropyl alcohol, because isopropyl alcohol shrinks and hardens butyl rubber, which is that little plunger.
Oh, crap.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, there you go. You got your answer.
Yeah.
Next question.
There you go.
And that's like a trusted supplier among
right, and residual solvent is just pure manufacturing practices that people should know better by now.
Well, I have to say, after producing for myself for years, it's been 3 years before or since I had medicine of anybody else's except mine, until recently when I ran out before harvest. And I had 2 little bits from 2 different places, and when I brought it home and looked at it, I was just so disappointed, because to my knowledge, this is what patients are using. And one was extremely mature, like over mature. The color of the trichomes, everything was brown.
Right, but see, that's not necessarily a bad thing for the right patient.
That's right.
Right, for the right patient.
Because that nice brown and amber trichomes means there's a high amount of CBN.
CBN, yes.
Which means that it's going to be very sedative and relaxing for them and take away a lot of the high effect. So for
that's true.
Kids and older patients type thing that you want to calm down, that's a good little medicine to have.
That's true.
Hey, you know
the
what?
other one, my son looked at it and went, "Oh, that's Chindro."
What is it? What would you say it was?
Oh, yes, Chindro. This is the term that the kids use. It's Chinese indoor hydroponic rolled. Chindro.
Oh, okay. I never heard of it.
Never heard of it. No,
me either. So I'm not a kid.
That's what the kids called. Yes, it's basically the mass-produced indoor hydroponic stuff that they roll before they put it on the street, so that there's not a lot of trichomes left on it.
That's all.
So they put it across
in little tight balls, right?
Yeah, they tumble it.
Yeah,
they tumble it.
Yeah, they used to call those
blunts.
Beaker buds or something. There was a name for that, because the buds were already cleaned off with most of the trichomes and then being sold. So yeah,
that's because they're using it for hash.
Correct, and they wanting full value for the stuff that's cleaned.
Gotta love a profiteer, eh?
That's the biggest problem that I have right now with getting meds, even from a dispensary, is the simple fact that 99% of the places that you go to tumble their weed now, because they need to maximize for their potential and their get as much as they can get out of the plant, right? So and they need a way to make oil, and they need a way to make hash and shatter and whatever else they're fucking calling it now.
That's why I think everybody should be allowed to grow their own.
Yep.
Hey,
I'm just sitting here thinking I'm so careful not to knock any trichomes off that I could possibly avoid, you know, like, it's just, yeah.
Yeah, you
Pretty much.
handle it, you know, where you're not squishing it or anything. You're being really careful with it.
Yeah. Mine never touches plastic, I don't think.
No, I don't. Mine doesn't. Mine never.
Mine does, because mine eventually gets bagged and frozen.
Mine's all
You freeze yours?
canning jars.
Pardon?
You freeze it?
After it's fully cured, I'll vacuum seal it and then freeze it and keep it in stasis. When I take it out, it's just the same way it was when it went in.
I've always used jars like Lori. Yeah, always.
Yeah.
For large amounts, anyways.
Marcel, when you freeze it like that, like I know, I over the years, myself, I've thrown cannabis in the freezer every once in a while. But you know, as we know more and more things, like, is there any concern that you're breaking off the trichomes when you're handling it afterwards?
Doesn't matter to me, because in most cases it's going to be processed into oil or hash, so I'm going to be collecting all those trichomes.
Okay, now the guy who's just smoking the bud.
See, I don't smoke a whole lot of bud. It's very rare that I smoke any bud.
Right.
I convert almost everything to oil, and I smoke oil because I make oil capsules. I make all my edibles out of oil. I make my topicals out of oil. So it's no sense for me, and I don't like the taste of cannabis. So every once in a while, I'll sit down and I'll smoke a joint. It's going to be processed into.
Sorry.
That's all right. But I'll only smoke a joint of something that I rolled or that I grew. I don't smoke other people's pot because I don't like indoor, because I don't like chemicals, and I can always taste the chemicals.
Yeah, me too.
It's going to happen.
I haven't lost my voice in 3 years either.
My edibles out of oil, I make.
And we were talking about that a few months ago, Lori, weren't we? I mentioned that, like, since you started doing the show, if you listen to old shows with Lori, she's very gruff.
Yeah, her voice is getting much better since she's stopped smoking chemicals.
I'm noticing that
the longer
in particular tonight as well.
Yeah.
Now, if we can get her to quit smoking cigarettes.
I posted that link there today earlier, and everybody kind of got a chuckle about it, about me saying that I had autism, about sensory overload.
Yep.
Well, in my case, sensory overload goes to taste as well.
With
my sound mostly.
Anything that goes into my mouth, I can taste. I can taste salt in tap water.
Ew.
Really?
Wow.
Oh.
Right?
Yeah.
So when somebody passes me a joint of indoor pot that's grown with whatever they wanted to use, I can taste those chemicals in that joint. And a lot of times it causes a gag reflex or a coughing reaction. So I grow everything outdoors natural. That's what I smoke. I don't cough. I don't gag. I have no issues because all I get is just pure cannabis.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, and you don't feed it any chemical-based foods outdoors. You just use the natural stuff.
I grow fully naturally and organic outdoors.
Yeah.
So do I.
Yeah, good.
I'm not allowed
The
to
only
grow.
additive that it actually gets during its growing cycle is molasses. And that's
I
help
use
break down the
molasses.
soil.
Molasses and worm castings here, but other than that, that's it.
Yeah, no, molasses are good.
I buy ladybugs and wasps.
And I also make my own soil, so.
Yeah.
Do you poo in your soil?
No, I don't use my poo. But I do like cow poo and horse poo.
Human poo is actually supposed to be really good, but you have to watch what you eat, though, when you use it.
You might want to compost it for a while too, eh?
Yeah.
It's always got to be composted. You don't use it fresh.
Yeah.
No, God, no.
Horse poo has actually a nice source of nitrogen that slowly releases.
Is that because of all the hay they eat?
I think so.
Whereas chicken, if you use the chicken manure, or however you want to call it, you got to watch it too because it'll burn. It can burn. It's high in nitrogen and everything.
Call it
you
chicken
can get
shit.
a lot of nitrogen really quick with chicken.
Chicken shit. Yeah, exactly.
Chicken shit. Yeah.
Soybean meal is good for that's for potassium.
And also all the stuff you scrape out of your fireplace at the end of the season.
Oh, ashes.
Yeah, and put it all. I was told you go over to where you're growing, and
that makes it more acidic.
Yeah, through the winter, just keep piling it in the whole area and kind of mixing it in with the snow, so that when the snow melts, it melts into the ground and it's good. Yeah, it creates acid.
Yes.
Yes,
what I do is I have my own compost pile that I use for basically all of my plant matter after it's been processed from oil, or all of the trim that's taken off the plants and the stalks, as well as all of the pots of soil.
Yeah.
And then
Marcel, have you ever tried to bring that inside to grow organically like that, but indoors?
Well, actually, I'm just in the process of getting it set up because I'm going to do some reviews. And I'm reviewing a Helios Spectra E60 LED light that runs off of my computer. I'm going to be doing a review and testing auto pots, which feed water from the bottom. And I'm going to be testing and reviewing Sohum Living Soil, which is a fully organic soil that you don't add any nutrients for 3 months.
Oh, damn, I wish I had that sound effects thing. Hold on one second. There we go. I got that one.
And then to top it off, I'm going to test the 12-1-6-18 theory on the lighting and see if it actually does reduce my power consumption as much as they say, as well as provide maximum yield. How's that? So yeah, I'm going to find out if I can do the same thing outdoors or indoors.
There's a fellow out there by the name the Rev, and he's got a book on true living organic indoor growing. So
I'd love to see everybody grow organically. The problem is outdoor gets a completely different light spectrum than what you can get indoor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because you can't duplicate outdoors. You can, but it's going to cost you a lot of money to do it because you've got to start buying UV lights as well.
I was looking
plants
at lights.
absorb both UVA and B, but if they're not getting in your grow room, are the plants growing to their full potential?
No, I'm not getting all the potential light that they should be getting.
Right. So what I'll do is with this, I'll compare this with what I grew outdoors this year, and see if it's up to par to that, because I figure that is the quality that would have to meet.
Yeah.
Well, here's one thing for growing indoors versus outdoors, and what you were saying about light spectrum. Also, the amount of light. I've heard people talking about a yield with kilowatt per plant. I know now where they get that, because if you go and you figure out the amount of light in wattage that hits 1 square meter of earth, it's kilowatt.
Right.
So that's what they're doing, is they're trying, with 1 kilowatt per plant, you're basically replicating what you get from sunlight.
Right.
So really expensive.
That's your goal, is to duplicate what the sun is doing, but you still don't have the full spectrum to do it.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a lot, eh?
Mm-hmm.
Outdoors is so much better.
I'm more interested because I've grown indoors before, and I mean,
I haven't.
I've grown a lot indoors, but I've grown a lot outdoors, and I always like outdoors better. But I always did the flowerings, or usually 14 or 16 hours on for a veg cycle, and then 12 for flowering. The science says that I was doing it wrong. So I'm going to try it this other way, which will cut my power consumption, but supposedly improve my quality.
So they say, yeah. I've heard about that way of growing. I've never tried it, but that'd be interesting. Let us know how you make out.
That's the idea. We'll find
light
out.
cycle instead of the 12-12, right?
Yeah, what you do is your vegetation cycle is only 12 hours on.
Right.
5.5 hours off, 1 hour on, 5.5 hours off, then you're back to 12 hours on. And you do that for the whole veg cycle.
And what, it tricks the plant into thinking it's doubling up the days?
Well, normally most plants will start flowering at 12:12.
Right.
So the 1 hour interruption stops it from flowering and just keeps it growing.
Keeps it in veg.
And then basically you're saving yourself, 5 or 6 hours
of hydro.
Of hydro right there.
Wow.
When you go to flowering, the plant uptake is only 6 hours. Is only 5 hours. All right. Everything else, it's no longer really growing your bud. It's just stretching your plant.
Right.
Is somebody pouring a drink or having a pee?
No, that was me hitting my vapor bong. I have a vapor bong here.
So with the flowering schedule, you only do 6 hours on and 18 hours off. So all the trichomes and everything can flourish in the dark.
Right.
And you turn around and you cut another 6 hours off of your power bill again.
Hey, Marcel.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because I was looking into that, and the actual development, the trichome development happens in the evening and nighttime hours, not during the day.
Right. Because it's the day is only for the growth, but it's only 5 hours of growth.
What exactly is a trichome? Is that the dust?
Yeah, what you'd call the dust. What it is, it's a little stem that goes up from the flower or the leaf.
And it's got little pouches.
And it's a little ball
on
the top.
Yeah.
And then
looks almost like a little explosion.
And that's the pollen, basically. No. Oh, it's not.
That is the in that little ball is the THC, the CBD, the CBG, CBN, CBD.
That's the resin.
That's the cannabinoids right in there.
Okay.
All of the cannabinoids are in that little ball, and that is the medicinal part of the entire plant.
So you know what that means? We got to keep playing with our balls.
Yeah. That little microscopic ball is it.
I'm going to grab my penis and play with it.
So if you think about it, there's not a whole lot of medicine per volume of the plant.
No, eh?
No. When you take a plant and you break it down to either oil or hash, because that's what you're looking for. That's the trichomes.
Okay.
It's quite a big difference between what was grown to what you end up with as a product.
Otherwise known as kief, right?
Whole plant extract. So you're using your trim and your buds and everything. Your ratio is around 10-1. So 10 grams of bud for 1 gram of oil.
Right. I was going to equate it to a 4 to 5 foot plant outdoors would equal about 5 10 milliliter syringes of oil, right?
One plant.
Yeah.
Cool.
So, that.
Have you, speaking of my penis, have you started your training with her yet?
Oh, we're training all the time.
No, but you were training her to be a service dog, aren't you?
Not anymore. I'm training her more to be a guard dog.
Oh, okay.
Because she's
watch out for my penis. She'll bite you.
She's got the intelligence of the border, but she's got the protectiveness of the boxer. And
I like boxers.
She seems to be much better as a. To be honest, there's people that she just does not like.
Well, that's usually the case, though. You usually
no. When she doesn't like them, it's dangerous. My niece came in and we had to lock her in a cage.
Wow.
Oh, do you know when whenever anybody brings babies here, we had to keep them away from the dog because she saw them as prey.
My niece is 15 years old.
Oh, really?
And as soon as she walked in the door, the dog went nuts. The dog also went nuts the first time the last time Corey ever came here.
Corey Amaro?
Yep.
You know what? A friend,
like Corey at all.
Mama Hawk just told me that her pop is getting very, very possessive with her grandson, and if you go near him and she doesn't know you or like you, she'll snap at you.
Yeah, that can happen.
Yeah.
Because it's a protective instinct again.
Yeah.
But because I keep the dog out in the backyard at the garden, and I used to let her in around the garden until it started flowering. I had to stop her because she keeps trying to lick the buds.
I like to lick my buds too.
Seal of approval.
She won't let.
Hey, buddy, come here. I want to lick you. Oh,
she won't let anybody near that garden.
Oh, yeah, Maggie's very protective of my garden too.
Yeah. But now
she sits herself.
I've got my drone, so I'm getting ready to hook her toy on the drone and make her run for a couple hours.
I'm still waiting to see the videos. You haven't sent me the videos.
I got to get a little tiny micro SD card.
Oh, okay. Dollar store.
I got the camera all mounted and everything. I just got to get the card for the camera.
I was watching, I think it was Daily Planet, and they were showing this guy has got, in Ontario, I think, this guy has built a large drone that he stands on and rides like a hoverboard.
Oh,
and
seen that in the news.
Yeah,
yes.
my issue with that is, what if you fall into the blades? Never mind the hitting the ground. That's going to kill you. What happens when you fall into the blades? Okay, because those aren't going to be plastic blades, I wouldn't think.
No, they didn't. And they actually showed him on the news. He was flying over top of a river, and he was probably, I don't know, maybe 10 feet above the water.
Yeah. And
the one side shut down, and he just crashed.
I didn't see that part.
Yeah, he crashed right into the water.
Oh, wow.
And then, if he was out, at least he was over the water, but if he was out anywhere else, that'd be, probably pretty solid landing, hitting the ground or his match belt, wherever.
There's a lot of neat stuff that they show. I watch a lot of Discovery and stuff like that. And speaking of useless news, October 21st, 2015 is coming. Does anybody know what that is?
October's
2 days after the election.
No. That's
what I was getting to.
at 4:29.
The day I'll be able to finally sleep because I'll be done being so excited. I hope that Stephen Harper's gone.
Yeah, well, there's that too. But actually, at 4:29 is the time and day that Marty and Doc arrive.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yes, the date from the Back to the Future movie.
Yep, that's the date. At 4:29, they arrive in 2015, I think. Yeah, from wherever it was, 1968 or whatever it was. Yeah. Yeah. Don't be tweeting me there, Al. You stop that. So, speaking of news, we've got some more news that Ellen has put together for us. We're going to listen to that, and then we'll be back. It's the 420 radio show. We're live on lifestyleradio.net. Come on and say hello on the chat room. We'll be right back. If I can find my mouse. There we go. Okay, bye-bye now.
Good evening. I'm Coulter Wonkite. I'm already into the 420, damn it.
According to the results of a national public opinion poll released on Wednesday, a significant majority of Canadians support regulated access to medical cannabis with physician support. 86% agree that health insurance companies should cover the costs of medical cannabis for those in legitimate need. In addition, the survey also found that most Canadians are aware that medical cannabis is legal in Canada. Most know that physicians and certain nurse practitioners are the only healthcare professionals who can authorize its use. 73% of Canadians believe that medical cannabis is a good option for those living with chronic pain, and 70% believe that medical cannabis is a safer alternative to opioid drugs. We're getting educated, folks. Marijuana sales fired past the $100 million mark for the first time in August this year, the Denver Post reported over the weekend. According to sales data from Colorado's Department of Revenue, released on Friday, the sales of recreational pot topped $59.2 million for the month, while medical marijuana dispensaries pulled in another $41.4 million, for a combined total of $100.6 million, the highest monthly total since legal recreational cannabis began sales in January of 2014. It was also the seventh time in 8 months that marijuana sales in Colorado have exceeded the previous month's total. In May, medical sales were $74.31 million. In Washington state, retail pot sellers have been enjoying a month-to-month jump in sales until July, when its revenues from recreational marijuana were $31.1 million. Washington's recreational pot sales are on pace to surpass $300 million this year. And in Oregon, where legal recreational sales began earlier this month, pot retailers pulled in an estimated $11 million, more than double the $5 million that were sold in the first week in Colorado. A paper published by the British Journal of Pharmacology suggests that chemical compounds in marijuana likely do prevent the onset of Alzheimer's disease, Parkinson's disease, Huntington's disease, and age-related dementia. The study found that both THC and CBD positively affect nerve cell function in consumers and significantly reduce the harmful neurological conditions that can be caused. This paper echoes claims made in January by Gary Wendt, a professor of neuroscience and immunology at Ohio State University. His advice to us then was, if you do anything, smoke a bunch of marijuana in your 20s and 30s, and you may wipe out all the inflammation in your brain, and then you can start all over. And you'll simply die of old age before inflammation becomes an issue for you. The implications of medical marijuana's effect on our brains are monumental, not just from a health perspective, but from a financial one as well, as over 5 million Americans have Alzheimer's. Great news from down under this week, a first for Australia. The state of Victoria has legalized locally produced medical cannabis products. This will begin in 2017. The Premier announced yesterday that the decision to make cannabis available to people in exceptional circumstances will begin in January. This treatment includes muscle spasms, multiple sclerosis, severe pain, nausea, vomiting, wasting from cancer or HIV/AIDS, epileptic seizures, where other treatments have failed, and for people suffering from severe chronic pain, where 2 specialists have granted approval.
This is the 420 radio show. We are live. Let's do the echo. Come on, everybody. Do
Echo,
the
echo.
Hello.
Can you hear us now? Now, stop.
Okay, now we're back. I like to do that.
Freak somebody out that's having a psychotic episode.
I like to do that at least once a show.
Yeah, come listen to our show, and we can cause an epileptic seizure for you.
Shit, there was something that was going on that was like that we were talking about. What were we talking about?
Sensory overload.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about that a little bit, because with ADHD, that's how I wake up in the morning.
It would be the same thing, and I think very likely what it is sensory overload can happen to any condition that there's possibly damage to neurons in your brain.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure there has to be after all the drugs they gave me.
Well, do you think, Marcel or Alan and Deb, Laurie, can you just sit there?
All right.
You get the bong this time.
I'll do that.
I know that Marcel and Laurie know my history, but way back in the day when I was 5, because of my dad being a psychiatrist and my mom being an educator, I had access to doctors and stuff like that. They diagnosed me very early with ADHD, and I was a test study at the Hinks Clinic in Toronto till I was 16, and I was on Ritalin and Dexedrine, very high doses of it. And I'm wondering, I mean, the story goes my doctor told me at 16 that I should be using cannabis instead of taking the pills. And I kind of live by that now at 50. How old am I now? 2. But what I'm asking is, do you think that there's any underlying effect that it may have caused a mood disorder in my life later on?
Of course.
Because I essentially was a speed baby.
Well, sure, you could have some long-term damage.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
And do you think that cannabis helps repair that damage?
To a point, yes, I do.
Okay.
If you get enough.
Yeah. I need more.
Yeah, I think so. because you're pretty broken. But I can say that because damage that happened to onset of my illness is almost completely recovered.
Now, but you still walk with a cane, right?
But it's more for
balance.
It's not even for balance. I can walk fine without my cane. I don't use a cane in a house or anything like that.
Yeah,
I can walk fine anywhere with the cane.
So it's
the
just
only
for
reason
show?
I have the cane is if I get fatigued.
Then
I lose balance.
Yeah, you can lean on it at least.
And then I have something to lean on and to assist me. Yeah. But more times than enough, it's just being carried to be used as a weapon.
See, I find now that I'm considering getting one because I'm getting to the point where I'm out shopping, I'm doing okay, but then I start getting really sore, and then I start losing my breath, and then I feel like I'm having not a stroke, but I'm having an episode kind of thing.
Yeah. Having a cane wouldn't hurt, and I mean you can even get a cane that actually doubles as an umbrella if you want. Right?
I'm not Mary Poppins, dude.
You could be a good Mary Poppins. I could see you walking around with one of those canes.
Chim chimichi, chim chimitree, chim chim.
Here's something off this topic, though, because I said umbrellas. I don't know if you guys would have seen the news, but there was a lockdown in Fredericton today.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Yeah, talking about umbrellas.
Because somebody had a weapon.
An umbrella.
What he's got is an umbrella in a carry case, but the handle and the case makes it look like it's a katana. It's a big sword.
Oh my!
But so this guy was walking around with an umbrella, and they locked down 4 schools for it.
That's that. Everybody's in the fear, eh?
God love it.
Oh wow!
When I heard that today, I just
what have they done to us?
They don't have enough cannabis in their system.
Yeah.
Oh wow!
Also a lockdown at Wilfrid Laurier University here in Ontario.
Yeah, I just caught that they locked it down, but I didn't catch why.
It was a threat that was posted on the internet, from my understanding, and it was mainly towards the science end of it all, which isn't odd considering our government is against science. But yeah, they had lockdown for I think about half the day, 3/4 of the day.
Wow!
Yeah, they locked down the whole place, not just that section where the science is taught, the wing or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah,
and it's it's unfortunate. We don't need to be living in a society where fear rules everything. And
unfortunately, that's what's happening, though. I mean, it's happening every day.
Especially when you have a government that promotes that fear to continue their own personal agenda.
See,
and the media pick it up and run with it like crazy too. Just thinking of our local paper that's a weekly paper, and you probably see the same thing in Amherst, Marcel. There's a column in some papers. It's called From the Cruiser, but it's a series of calls that the RCMP receive on a weekly basis, all dated what village or town they're coming from, and it's crazy things like suspicious persons standing by the side of the road, or suspicious vehicles, and
they put everything
horses
in the
tied to trees. But I mean, a lot of it, when you read it, I'm sure is instilling fear in the minds of some of the seniors in the various communities, reading about these suspicious people that are hanging around in their neighborhoods. It's just absolutely ridiculous.
They do that here too in the local newspaper. You can read about all the crimes in the past week, and then people get all worried, and it's
well, I was just having a conversation earlier about the 2 situations here in Canada that blew this entire thing up. 2 disturbed individuals in 2 separate incidents did crazy things, right? and they call it terrorism, but bear with me for a second. Did you see any group step up and claim ownership of either of those guys?
Yeah, but the thing is the issues that we have is the media is going to basically take whatever the police say is being gospel truth or what the government says is gospel truth. And I'm going to give you a really good example. This is obviously in Ontario because it was the Durham Regional Police.
Figures.
All right, so
I heard a lot of stories about them.
Well, here's an article that was on their CP 24.
Okay, CP24 is a local radio, TV down there.
All right, so here's the article, and it says Durham Regional Police are warning the public after 3 homemade drug-laced lollipops were found in the possession of a 17-year-old in Whitby on Tuesday. Police said the parents of a 17-year-old in Whitby called them after finding drugs. So the parents ratted out their kid and called the cops.
Right.
Once police arrived, they seized an unknown amount of marijuana and 3 lollipops. The lollipops are believed to contain tetrahydrocannabinol, THC, the active ingredient in marijuana, or an opiate. Police said the candy has been sent away to a lab for analysis. The lollipops are bound with elastic bands covered in a plastic wrap and appears to be homemade. Anyone with information about this incident asked to call the police.
Yeah.
They're cannabis lollipops, but they now have the media in Durham area and Whitby or whatever that are trying to equate cannabis and opiate as being the same thing.
Yeah.
Why would you say or an opiate?
It's the active ingredient in marijuana or an opiate. There's no THC in an opiate.
No.
Right? So it's only to make it sound like it's a dangerous narcotic.
Mm-hmm.
So the whole title of this was Lollipop Suspected of Containing Narcotics Seized by Police in Whitby.
Wow.
I think that was the same place that... I think it was the same place that found the syringes that had the cannabis oil in it, and they were saying that people were now injecting it into their veins.
And a parent ratted out a child.
Their kid, their 17-year-old.
Well, you know what? We're going to take a break because there's a lot of ratting out going on around, and it's getting ridiculous. So, this is the 420 Radio Show. We'll be back. lifestyleradio.net. If you got any comments to that comment, come on in the chat room and share them. We'll be right back.
I get you digging myself. I ain't got time to dig nobody else. Try sitting down sometime and just dig in yourself. And see how much time you have to dig or try to meddle in somebody else's business.
What a smoke smells too funky. Some people think what a smoke smells too funky. Some people think what a smoke smells too funky. Some people think what a smoke smells too funky. Some people think what a smoke smells too funky. Some people think what a smoke smells too funky.
Grab the children, board up the buildings, gather provisions, alert the civilians, spark a flare, prepare to filter the air. Mr. Nine's got designs to light up a prayer. Someone somewhere must have got the wrong picture. I'm confessing this blessing's no deadly elixir. If anything, this mixture's an everyday fixture towards finding a balance and seeking God's scripture. I'm honestly over the overreacting and the unneeded dogma from the shadow it's casting. My pockets got lint, but keep your 2 cents. It lacks common sense and nobody's asking. I can quote all the studies, the medical proof, bare my bare soul, outline my life's truth. But I see little use, you done made your judgment, but no one round here is known to run from it.
What a smoke smells too funky. Some people think what a smoke smells too funky. Some people think what a smoke smells too funky. Some people think what a smoke smells too funky. Some
Well, yo, I got this condition that I'd rather not mention, so I went to the doc and I got a prescription. Every day spinning pain I can't even explain, so it seems rather lame that I needed permission. I can only speak for myself, but it helps to deal with the mental and physical health. So the gloves are off, the sword's down from the shelf, the cat's out the bag, I'm switching from stealth. How in the fuck would you think I'd believe fermented barley's less lethal than weed? You can smoke all you want if you want the right lead. Prohibition's key belief is piety and greed. You're a dying breed, beyond classic, more Jurassic, fantastic. Another right-wing fanatic, but you ain't fixing us, in fact, burn where's your bag. You don't even need half, just give what you have.
Man has been looking to get high since the dawn of time. First guy thought, this can't be it. That's why we heard about grass. The word was out. Marijuana. Marijuana. What does it do, man? Get you high? And we found out. Grass. Does it make you stagger? Breath don't smell, and you don't puke on your shoes, which is important. One of the problems that marijuana is having in being decriminalized, no one can remember where they left the petition.
November 7th, 2015, the Green Thinking Assembly will be taking place in Kingsville, Ontario, Canada. It's an initiative designed to further discuss the potential benefits of cannabis for medicinal purposes. The assemblage will consist of speakers that will deliver their own personal stories of where they were in the past and where they are today medically, as well as their journeys along the way. It's the hope of this assembly to make the public better aware of the need for legislation reform that will allow, at the very least, the choice for anyone to possibly direct their own fate by means of cannabis without the threat of governmental resistance and or criminal charges being made against them. For many years, the subject of cannabis in general terms has been taboo, and it's now time to reduce the stigma and let it be known that it's okay to talk about cannabis and the healing properties it may offer. In nature, there are no rules when it comes to survival, and somewhere along the way, they feel we have lost our soil identity. For more information...
Anyways, we are live. This is the 420 radio show. I hope that didn't get caught up, but,
Yeah, it probably did.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
We're talking about other people. None of your business. I'm just kidding.
Stop listening. Go away.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you doing here anyway?
We're just sitting around the living room chatting here. Come on.
Yeah.
That's right.
Everybody talk about other people?
I'm going to start talking about other people right now. I'm going to talk about Chris Rideout, because Chris Rideout sent me a question on Facebook, and I've got to ask this online.
Okay.
We already know the answer.
Okay.
So, the question is, why do my feet smell when I smoke cannabis? Now, of course, the answer I put back is your feet have noses, but I'm thinking no. Chris, you better be listening, because I'm not typing your answer. It goes back to sensory overload. Cannabis is a bronchodilator. It also clears out your nasal passage for you. You smell your feet better.
Yeah, it's a natural
Your feet
expectorant.
smell when you smoke cannabis? No, your feet smell all the time.
Yeah.
You smell them when you smoke cannabis.
Yeah.
Could we maybe tell him to leave his shoes on?
Yeah, that works. or I hear deodorant on the bottom of your feet works extremely well as well.
Well, it's the same kind of pores underneath.
But your
arms,
feet sweat a lot more than your armpits or anywhere else does. But you don't want to use an antiperspirant on your feet.
Why not?
Because the majority of your sweat comes out through your feet during the day.
I use Dr. Scholl's Odor Destroyer. That's what
Does
I
it work?
use in my shoes every morning before I go anywhere, because my old shoes can be offensive. Yeah.
Well, in my case, I mean, my feet.
I'd like a case of Dr. Scholl's, please, just for that.
It's the big laugh around here is the fact that my feet don't stink unless I wear my leather sandals.
Yeah, well, your feet will sweat a lot.
Yeah, your feet sweat. What about big winter boots?
No.
The big insulated insoled.
My feet never get warm.
Warm feet.
Or the wonderful plastic
because
footwear from
my
Payless.
feet very rarely cool off. I'm wearing sandals right up until till the snow flies darn near, because I find anything other than sandals and my feet start to overheat, and then instantly I'm too warm.
Yeah.
I have a problem getting too warm also. Yeah.
With me, heat causes fatigue and cold causes pain, so I have to try and stay within about a 5 or 7 degree temperature range all the time, or else.
I've noticed that the one thing that I hate the most is car heat. I always get a headache, and there's always somebody who's a little bit colder than I am that wants to crank it. So I've developed a little way to keep myself cool, and that is keeping my window open about an inch and sticking my hand out there, and it becomes my thermostat. Now, I have a thyroid problem, so it's compounded even more, right? But I find that cools me right down. Just the same principle as, when you get a little too warm underneath your sheets, you stick your foot out the end of your sheet.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah, because your wrists is...
Yeah, no, both my feet are sticking out of the sheet.
You're not that tall, dude.
No, I kick my feet out over the side, not out the end.
I was going to say, it's about the side.
Yeah, they're out the side, always. They stay nice and cool, and it keeps the rest of me cool. If it's warm, or if I'm going through a relapse, which I haven't had that type in a long time, I used to wake up in the middle of the night. You could bring out my pillow.
That's been a few years since you've been that bad, eh?
Yep.
Congratulations, dude.
Yeah. That was just miserable, because I'd wake up, I'd be completely soaked. The whole mattress would be soaked. Everything would be soaked.
I remember you telling me about that.
Yeah.
I have a question that I'd like to get you guys' opinion on. Okay.
Sure.
I went today to I got an issue with a toe, and so I went to get a prescription today, and inside my prescription bag it said, "Ask your pharmacist about the shingles vaccine." As I'm turning
good heavens.
this year, 1 in 3
Are they giving
people-
everybody a second chickenpox vaccine now?
I don't know.
Whooping cough here.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
No, shingles is the same virus that causes chickenpox.
Yeah, well,
Right.
That's what I was just going to read.
But what they want is what they're
let me
just
read
started advertising here is whooping cough vaccination when you go get your flu shot.
It says here 95% of Canadian adults have had chickenpox and are at risk of shingles. It's highly likely you've had chickenpox, even if you don't remember it. The chickenpox virus stays in your body and can sometimes reactivate as shingles. Well, I want my money back then. That's
and
did you pay?
I will say, to my knowledge, shingles acts the same as chickenpox. That if you get it once, you won't get it again.
It says here it's shingles is a painfully blistering rash that can last several weeks, although it usually occurs in one's body in one part of the body, such as the torso. Shingles can also affect the face and eyes. Most people.
It's usually on one half of your spinal cord too. Only one half of your body, not the other half.
Resolves around the rash as the rash heals, but for some, long-term debilitating nerve damage can be.
Al, if you'll get them, you'll probably get them on a testicle.
Yeah, thanks, buddy. Thanks a lot.
Now you know who to blame, at least, Al.
May the magic moose come down and kick you in the left testicle, buddy.
We have a lady that actually has shingles right now.
And what would you prescribe for that? Like prescribe? What would you have somebody use for that?
I've got her trying the cream right now to see if that helps.
Is it a balm though, or is it a salve?
Yeah, it's a balm.
Okay. Can you explain?
I was wondering about that.
Well, can you explain? One of you explain what the difference? Because I get confused with it. I mean, I know the difference now, but I got confused with it. I wasn't. It's like there's crackle and there's dabs and then it's like we should put a list together. So yeah. What's the difference?
Between what?
I don't know. I forgot, man. Come on.
A salve and a balm.
Salve and a balm is pretty much the same thing, I would think.
It is.
A cream is like a whipped one, something that's whipped with a carrier that leaves it soft and whipped.
Right. If you go to the doctor and he does up a topical cream for you, all right, he'll use what's called PLO, which is a compounding gel that they have to mix up, and then put your medicine in.
Yeah.
Right.
That, because it's all whipped up and everything, would be considered a cream or a salve. Balms usually get meant more for things along the lines of Burt's Bees,
and waxes and stuff.
A waxy type substance is more of a balm.
Well,
basically one stays on top of the skin and the other one absorbs into the skin.
Yeah, more or less, but I mean, neither really absorb into the skin very well.
I don't know.
Unless they've got a product like DMSO in it that'll carry it across the skin.
My balm works well. It soaks in. It leaves a little bit of a residue on your hands for a little while, but
Yeah, but it's not bad for you. I mean, mine is all different essential oils in it, and version 2 that's about to come out is actually going to also include vitamin E, and that's aiming more towards the one with the shingles.
Well, yeah, because my mom had shingles like really, really, really badly when I was a child, and yeah, it almost looks like a cross between a burn and a psoriasis. You know what I mean?
It does.
It's exactly.
It looks painful, and I'd never wish it on anybody.
Oh well, I had it once, but I got chickenpox. I got chickenpox and shingles really, really mildly, like just a couple of spots and only a small spot of shingles. But yeah, it's I would say a cross between psoriasis and a burn.
Yeah.
Like it's itchy, but you can't touch it, and it's horrible. I had to nurse my mom when she had it. She had it after about a pneumonia or something. And you usually get it when your system has been compromised by some other illness, right? When you're weakened.
That's pretty much how you get almost every illness.
Right.
Is a weakened immune system. If your immune system was working, you wouldn't get sick.
Exactly.
Can I ask you guys a question? Okay.
Can we answer truthfully?
Yes, of course you can.
Lie?
I keep seeing Section 56, which is what?
No longer existent.
Okay. You see, you guys didn't tell me that part. Because I'm still calling it a Section 56, but now it's actually a Section 53, correct?
Correct.
Well, no, Marcel, they referred to,
there is a Section 56, but it's not the same as it was.
That thing you posted, Lori,
Section
by the way,
is in reference to the Smith trial.
Yes.
Okay. I get
because the Section 56 that did exist is gone, but now they're using the Section 56 exemption to allow derivatives in, what is it, cold extraction form and
for licensed
raw
producers.
cannabis?
For licensed producers.
In the document that you just sent me, right? The regulations, Section 56, it just says repealed SOR/2010,
right.
Blah, 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 blah.
Right.
Yeah.
But then there was another one after the Supreme Court ruling in R.V. Smith. There was another issuance of MMPR.
But that's the
MMPR, I guess you call it, right?
Right. So they got their own Section 56 for the MMPR. It doesn't apply to the patient or anybody like that. As a patient, we can't get that.
Okay.
Only the licensed producers can apply for that exemption. What we have is Section 53.
Which is what I'm looking at right now.
Better than what the old Section 56 was.
Yeah, so when Deb started talking at the beginning of the show regarding all these people that are being arrested and charged and going through the system regarding having their medicine on hand that they did have an authorization or have had in the past, don't have something current, whether they've fallen through the cracks or they couldn't get their doctor to renew or whatever the situation. In, I believe it was April of 2014, there was reference on John Conroy's site to a Section 53, which is something that he suggested that patients get who had fallen through the cracks.
Correct.
And so we'll go further. And Marcel, did you want to explain what we've done or what that is and what we've done about it? Or
yeah, actually I can bring it up and read you what it is. But the
narcotic control regulations.
Yeah, what happened is one of our MCPAC lawyers caught on and started reading it and realized it and came up with a Section 53 exemption form for a doctor to sign. And it can be any practitioner, but I'll explain it, and I'll even read it. The document may be completed. Section 53, medical cannabis exemption. This document may be completed by the applicant's authorized healthcare practitioner as per the Narcotic Control Regulations, CRCC 1041, Section 53. 5. A healthcare practitioner may administer dried marijuana to a person or prescribe or transfer it for a person if A, the person is a patient under the professional treatment, and B, the dried marijuana is required for the condition for which the person is receiving treatment.
They have also,
and that's under the Narcotic Control Regulations.
And they've also opened the door for medicating animals. Says it right there.
Right. So basically, we can now supply patients with a prescription form for the MMPR that the doctor could fill out, and then they would submit to a licensed producer and purchase their cannabis, or they can go into their doctor with a Section 53 exemption, which would allow them to use cannabis with no restrictions on how they obtain it.
Now, okay, so all of us people with a pink piece of paper now fall under that.
No, we're still bound under that pink piece of paper.
Okay.
Because we're actually under the injunction.
Okay.
So we're bound by that pink piece of paper. We can't go out and grow more plants than we're allowed and carry more than we're allowed.
Okay.
We have to follow those. But this exemption, the doctor can put down how many grams per day and whether therapeutic gardening is applicable.
So this will allow your physician to give you more than the maximum 3 grams per se.
That's the dosage is always based on the relationship between the doctor and the patient, what they decide. Always.
That's the thing that drove the development of this form. After the lawyer found that, we started working on it, and this is an autonomous agreement between the doctor and you that here's your authorization, I'm saying that you're allowed to use this, I'm keeping one in your file, and this is for you to keep with you. Nobody needs to know you even have it unless you are challenged or arrested or you go to court or whatever. You can then bring it out and go, look, my doctor said I need it.
And you're done. The case is done. It's over. There's nothing they can do because you followed the narcotic control regulations.
Right. Because Section 53 clearly says that the doctor can authorize or prescribe or administer or transfer to the patient based on Section 53 or the marijuana for medical purposes regulations. Or...
So you take your choice. You want to grow your own, then you use a Section 53. You want to purchase it from an LP, then you use the MMPR prescription.
Huh. Yeah.
And if you want to say established medical need, to me, a form signed by your doctor that he has a copy in his file and you have a copy on your body that is signed by your doctor and authorizes you to use cannabis, that is established medical need.
Oh, hold on
is
a second. Well,
Yes.
Also having one of those pink pieces of paper would be established medical need that the government already fucking knows about. Would it not?
Right.
Yes.
Right.
That's why you don't get arrested.
That's right.
Right.
But if you were going
Now,
to
if you
push
had
the
one
issue,
of those pink pieces of paper and you still have it, but the date falls outside the
Yeah.
window of the injunction, and you have one of these pieces of paper from your doctor signed recently,
Then your ass
that
is covered.
is right. This is the best case scenario we could figure for cover thine ass.
okay.
For those who are not covered either by the injunction or the MMPR.
So we actually had a patient take it to a doctor, and the doctor loved it. Thought it was awesome.
Cool.
Signed it for free, sent the patient away and said, come back in 3 months and let me know how you want to proceed, whether you want to sign up with the MMPR or whatever is available to us at that time.
Huh.
Yep.
That's really all you can say. I'm gonna cut this conversation short because I want to give Al a minute to tell people about his show and where they can find him and all that. And I also want to give Debbie, sorry, Debbie. This is my new friend Davey. I want to give Deb the same courtesy as well. So Al, why don't you inform us?
The Pace Radio Show is broadcasted on the Time for Hemp Broadcasting Network, which is available at timeforhemp.com, and that is the number 4, not the word 4. And at there you'll find a button for current hosts, and you'll find the Pace Radio Show listed there. And what we touch on is Canadian cannabis advocates. Mainly, occasionally we have somebody who is international from outside of our borders, but we mainly stick to Canadian people. And we talk about what they're doing in order to change the cannabis laws, to whether they're a patient. It could be we could have a lawyer, or we could have an advocate, or whomever. It doesn't matter whether they're well known or not known, as long as there's somebody who wants to speak up and speak out about the cannabis issue. We're more than happy to have them on. My joint hosts, as I mentioned earlier, have done a great job in finding guests to come and talk on the show and share what they know. So.
And
you've been, and I mean they'll take anybody on for a guest. They've even had me a couple times.
Yeah, we've had Marcel on there for a few times. I should mention that my joint hosts are Owen Smith, as we all know through the Owen Smith case for the edibles, and Kim Cooper. They are on the show alternate week to week, and then I have Debbie Stultz-Giffin, and as well as Allison Murden, who fill in on a part-time when needed basis.
Cool. I love Allison. She's a sweetie.
And we also use Canadian music as our bumpers, Canadian cannabis music, in order to highlight them as well.
Cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
And
cool.
Debbie works with Mum.
I do.
And what do you do there?
Well, Maritimers Unite for Medical Marijuana Society have actually been registered as a not-for-profit here in Nova Scotia for 12 years. And I've been the chair of that organization ever since. We advocate for patients who use cannabis as medicine. We educate the public, doctors, lawyers. We're in the throes of setting an appointment with actually an RCMP officer who's an expert court witness who's asked to meet with us for educational purposes. We lobby with all levels of the government for changes in cannabis law and policies. We do court support with patients, as I talked about at the outset of the show. We've been quite involved with educational forums and putting on conferences. In fact, this spring, Marcel was with a number of us in PEI doing a brain health matters forum on post-traumatic stress disorder and other forms of mental illness that people use cannabis to help control and treat. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and of course the World Wide Web as well. This fall we just held our 8th annual Harvest Fest and our first ever John Cook Memorial Cup, which was our first cannabis cup here in Nova Scotia, held by our organization.
And they had awesome prizes for that cup.
Yeah, I know. You won them all.
I didn't win them all, but I got a good load of them.
He did get his share. He didn't win them all, but
it was rigged. It was rigged.
No, and actually it wasn't. I didn't even judge the categories that I entered.
So are we? I don't know about you guys out east, but Lori, are you ready for what's about to happen tonight? And you as well, Al. We're about to get snow.
Snow. Oh,
yeah. I don't think Al's ready.
I seen.
So listen, here's the question: do you guys want the Blue Jays to win or the Blue Jays to lose?
Win.
You want them to win.
Yeah.
So then I shouldn't watch.
Where are they playing?
Why are you now a politician? Because that's the only people that seem to fuck things up for them.
No, any sports team that I watch that I'm hoping wins loses, so I just know not to watch.
You know what? I also wanted to say I voted. Fuck you, Harper.
I voted too.
Me too.
Yeah, that's probably pretty much a given now.
Seen a good mixture of the people who were voting as far as age category.
You know what? I did too. I saw some very, very young people that were obviously there for the first time at the advanced polls in town here. So
yeah,
I thought that was really cool, and I saw a lot of senior citizens as well.
I have to say I'm absolutely totally impressed at the turnout for the advanced polls.
850,000.
That was the first day. They're saying 3.6 million.
Yeah, that's
million for advanced polls.
Yeah.
And there was
and people are still voting at actual Elections Canada offices.
And who's in the lead? Come on, say it.
Well, they don't count them until everybody's voted.
But that's
and I don't really care because it's
a tie.
We're screwed whoever gets in.
Everybody's got zero.
Vote is my MP doesn't get reelected. And I would say from the phone call last week and the phone call this week from the Liberal Party reminding me to go vote, if they're calling everybody, I don't think my MP stands a hope in hell.
I was visiting some friends, and the gal that I actually voted for in the advanced polls there on Thanksgiving weekend was speaking that evening at the town hall.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, okay, let's go. I'd like to meet her and tell her I voted for her. But then I said, wait a minute. I didn't actually vote for her. What if I don't like her? What if I don't like her stand on cannabis? I better not go. Because it's kind of too late.
Oh, they have to toe the party line, though.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I realize that. But still, if I didn't like the person, I'd be racking myself, and I'd be like, that'd be it. That'd be a week of depression, man. What did I do?
Well, they tell us we're supposed to vote for the representative in our area that best represents what, our values or whatever, all that stuff is. But really, it all comes to, and we don't vote for our prime minister. Only the people in that riding vote for a prime minister, for that person. But yet, I bet you ask 95% of the people, they'll tell you they vote for the party and the leader.
Right.
Yeah, they're voting for the leader. Not in my case, and the majority of the people here, they couldn't give a crap about the leader. They're voting for the individual that's here.
I don't care who you vote for. I don't. I already voted, and whether or not I tell people is my business. Yay, Justin! But
here's the thing. Here.
Not that you're giving out any clues.
No, not at all. No.
Our riding has been a conservative stronghold forever.
Yeah.
And back when Bill Casey was a conservative, he had this place sewn up. Nobody could compete against him. When Harper kicked Casey out of the caucus, Casey ran the next election as an independent and won with 80% of the vote as an independent. And then he got out of politics. And then we went back to conservatives. So he's decided to come back this year as a liberal.
Okay.
And I would say he's going to walk away with 80% of the vote again.
Yeah, he's going to kick butt. You're right on that case, Marcel. That's
because Harper kicked him out for standing up for Nova Scotians because they were getting screwed in the deal.
Yeah, the Atlantic Accord.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, this is the thing. Like, they're supposed to represent their constituents, and if they represent their constituents instead of the party line, that's a reason to kick them out.
Well, it is in Harper's world.
Yeah. No.
Well, it's the same as it's the same as Harper's little stance of figuring anybody that uses crack or cannabis should be locked up in jail. unless you're a Ford and donating lots of money to his party.
That was my! I couldn't believe it when I saw that.
In that case, then you're an upstanding individual.
Well, yeah.
He won't even mention them by name.
Sorry?
He won't even mention them by name. They're on the news. He was talking about the family and supporter and stuff like that, but he wouldn't say Rob Ford's name.
I thought, you know what? I thought that it was ridiculous that Harper's got the Ford brothers at an event.
Yeah.
2 events.
Okay. 2 events. And he invited them, did he not?
Big party tomorrow. Big party in Toronto.
They paid for it.
What I saw was that the one event, they were having an ego fest publicly about whose event it was. The Conservative Party was saying it was their event, and the Fords were going, no, we put it on.
Oh, they actually held the event.
Yeah.
And
that's
Harper
what they're
came.
saying.
And Harper showed
the
up.
Second one.
Oh, that's fucking real.
I think it's just an event to counteract to the one that Trudeau did at Brampton where he had 7,500 people in the arena. Because it was a massive crowd.
See,
There was a wide-angle lens on one report of that second event in Toronto, and they were packed in pretty tight to get some angles good on the camera, but there weren't all that many people there that I saw.
Where, at the Trudeau one in Brampton? 7,500 people?
No, the one where the two brothers were sitting in the front row recently.
Oh, yeah, that's the Conservative Ford one, yeah. Yeah, and
but
saying,
see,
don't
the
worry
Conservatives
about
don't let the public in. You've got to be vetted to get into a Conservative one. Then you've got to go through the pat-down and the security and all of that. And the only ones that would really be worried about that would be somebody that knows that the public hates them.
Yeah.
Because we had Justin Trudeau came here for breakfast one morning, and the place was packed.
Did you ever
Standing
get your
room
15
only.
minutes?
You couldn't even breathe in the place. There was so many friggin' people, and it's because there wasn't a venue big enough for them.
Yeah.
No.
Did you get your 15 minutes?
I got my 15 minutes with Bill Casey, yes.
But you didn't get it with Trudeau like you were hoping?
No, I only wanted one question for him, and that I'd forgotten to take a press pass with me, and they were only taking questions from the press, and I felt like a doughhead.
Yeah, we'll got to fix that. We're at the end of the show, and I just wanted to thank Debbie and Al real quick. But I also wanted to something really silly happened on the day I voted. I came home and I literally tweeted #voted #fuck you Harper. I'll say it again, fuck you Harper. Okay. And you know what? I thought that something really, really stupid happened. Somebody actually took the time to type out friend or unfriend before they unfriended me. Because I said, fuck you, Harper.
If they like Harper that much,
they can have.
Do you really want them as a friend?
I thought it was hilarious that this individual took the time to actually type out unfriend and tweet it to me. Like, I give a shit that you don't like something I said.
Who was
now,
it?
that's
Come
not,
on, Rod. Look, Odom, who was it?
No, I can't do that, dude. No, it wouldn't be my mother. No, I'm just kidding.
Your mother.
No,
I'm likely to unfriend somebody that says "fuck you" anybody.
I have had somebody actually argue with the fact that I woke up in a grumpy mood and I told everybody on all my networks, "Fuck you" this morning. And somebody actually sent me quite a lengthy note stating that they were disgusted that I told them to fuck off the first thing that they came on their Facebook. They were unfriending me on all their social networks and telling their friends to do the same. Do you get shit like that, Al?
Do I get shit like that? No, not really.
No.
I don't have, people don't want to follow me, whatever. They just say goodbye. They don't even say goodbye. They just gone. No one's told me
That's
that.
what I get. I don't see them saying goodbye.
Well, they must like fucking with my head then. Because
Have you seen
ate
some
at
of the
me for a
things that I
week.
tape?
Stop following
I
me.
say anything I
what
want.
I've ran into is some battles on Facebook during the election, and I've seen some.
Oh, some doozy. I've seen some really big battles going on the last week or so.
And at this point, I would like to stress that the views broadcast on this appointment on this show are the opinions of those who are participating, not the organizations that they represent.
Or Lifestyle Radio.
Yeah, we should have that disclaimer at the beginning. That way everybody's clear for what we do.
Yeah.
You know what?
You'll notice I don't say "fuck you" anybody, and I'm being totally nonpartisan.
But
I don't
kept shutting
tell
my
a whole
mouth
lot
up.
of people that because of my position.
Here's the thing.
I know.
Okay.
That's why I said that these are the opinions of the participants, not their organizations.
I shouldn't have to say
I can
that.
honestly say I've done it in private messages to a number of people.
I shouldn't have to even say that though, doing this, because you know what? We are all
organization. I do.
We are all sitting in the privacy of our own homes, where free speech is God.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you don't like something that we've said, you have two choices: either call us and tell us, or shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
And it's us talking. Yeah, exactly.
Are you guys allowed to swear over there, Al?
We can, but we don't do it as a regular thing.
Well,
we end up with a explicit label slapped on our recording.
Oh, really? You don't want that.
We don't want that. No. No, I'm not saying it's never happened. It has happened, but
I think that's hilarious too, because I mean,
it happened if you get me on.
You do a show about cannabis, but yet you can't say fuck.
Yeah,
I don't get it. You know what?
I know some of the shows that Casper carries do actually get played on terrestrial radio, so
yeah,
there could be that concern as well.
Yeah. Well, we only get played here and there and wherever we end up.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. No, that's good.
Only if they want to listen. We don't force them.
No,
that's right. And they can always hit the button, stop.
We won't smoke really, really good grass with you and then get you on the couch and just make you sit there listen or anything.
No.
Oh.
But we do suggest doing that to listen.
Yes.
What? Doing what?
Smoke a big pile of grass and sit on the couch.
Oh, you can't do that. That would be illegal.
Who? What?
Who? No. Next week it's all going to be legal, man.
Oh.
All use is medicinal.
Yes, all use is medicinal.
I hope.
I
It is.
fully believe that. Yep.
It
So what's
truly
going to
is.
happen? Let's say Trudeau gets elected next Monday, and when he takes over, are we going to be subject to cannabis laws from the point of him taking over until he changes the law?
He's actually made a statement, a very poignant statement, that if he wins, things will change immediately.
Yeah.
But immediately in government eyes, don't forget he's got a 4-year term. Immediately
That's right.
is 1 year.
Yeah, no, I realize that. And on that note, my dog, 14 years old, needs to go out. He's not feeling well. This is the 420 Radio Show. Thank you, folks, for joining us. Thank you, Al and Debbie. Please join us again. You're welcome anytime.
And next time we join you, hopefully we'll have a new prime minister.
Yes.
Yes. Maybe he'll come on. Maybe he'll come on the show and smoke a joint with us.
Maybe.
You know he does.
This is
on that note, we better get out of here.
Before we get into trouble and get canceled or something or ended. This is the 420 Radio Show. We are here 7 p.m. Eastern Time every Friday. You can also catch us at 4:20 a.m. and p.m. daily on lifestyleradio.net. Again, thank you for listening. We will be back next week. lifestyleradio.net. Again, thank you for listening.
Oh yes, me roll it. Me not care what you say, strictly herb it on me brain. Yes, me love the cannabis, yeah. Me name a Senserakia. Me always have Mary's line. Oh yes, me roll it. Me not care what you say, strictly herb it on me brain. Roll up your ganja split. Roll up your ganja split. So you can pass me the whistle, pass me the whistle. I wanna be less spliff. If you have the ganja, can't smoke with anyone to beg everything. You got something for yourself. Smoke ganja hard. You got with love. Oh yes, me roll it. Me not care what you say, strictly herb it on me brain. Yes, me love me cannabis, yeah. Me name a Senserakia. Me always have Mary's line. Oh yes, me roll it. Me not care what you say, strictly herb it on me brain. Roll up your ganja split. Roll up your ganja split. Alright. You now go see me beg you feel no like that. No rolling paper, no ganja. Me own things always there. In a me backyard me grow a big cali tree. As soon she a go ready, me a go smoke and nice and steady. So now the herbs come around. Me a fair rising on the morning, me a go pick up from the ground. That's my where this came from. Sensera coffee, me name and me marijuana of the floral. Oh yes, me roll it. Me not care what you say, strictly herb it on me brain. Yes, me love me cannabis, yeah. Me name a Senserakia. Me always have Mary's line. Oh yes, me roll it. Me not care what you say, strictly herb it on me brain. Roll up your ganja split. I know. Roll up your ganja split. Oh, it's the healing of the nation, yes. I got to smoke my ganja weed, yes. And then now smoke the seed. Neither we go kill the weed. No. Roll up the split now. Oh, me love me some Samina. So you must get up play marijuana. Whoa, yeah. Roll up your ganja split. Roll up your ganja split. Ganja split. Roll up your ganja weed. Yeah. Roll up your ganja split. Smoke ganja till your head red. Roll up your ganja split. I ain't going away. Roll up your ganja split.
Yeah, man. Sense Rock and Silverwood Walker in the studio, live and direct.
No.
Jam Rock and Silverwood Walker, and the big man is from there.
You like music, you like weed, well, we gonna be good friends indeed. This is how much I like more than smoking trees. They'll make you dance the do-si-do and teach you how the chiva grows. Smoke a bowl on the 420 radio show. On Lifestyle Radio.
So what are you doing? Nothing. Why not?
I'm trying to get on this lifestyle radio website.
Sounds like a cool website.
Yeah, it's alright. Oh, hey, I might have it.
You might have it.
You're listening to Lifestyle Radio.
Good evening. I'm Coulter Wonkite. I'm already into the 420, damn it.
Oh my God.
License and registration, please.
But I just gave you
License and registration. You know how fast you were going?
65.
63. You are freaking out, man.
I open my bag up with countless shrooms. I'm about to chase it with Mountain Dew. Orange with a little bit of hint of blue. Open up and down the chute. You think about the taste and you're bound to puke. Here we go as I look around the room. I think I ate too much. As I ate too much, will it make you nuts? When will it kick in? How does it feel? 40 minutes later, man, shit gets real. I'm high as hell and I ain't right like a man with a pair of 6-inch heels. Shit gets ill. Laughing my ass off about nonsense, man, I can't sit still. It's 10 till. Losing my train of thought cause it feels like I'm in the field. Head like a windmill, how did I get here? Gripping the couch like a bag of cash. Do you feel it yet? You don't have to ask. Next time only take half the bag. Pink hearts, green clovers, yellow stars and blue moons.
That leprechaun must be eating on them mushrooms.
Green hearts, yellow moon, green clovers, orange stars. That leprechaun's on mushroom. He's crazy. He's crazy. He's crazy like me. He's crazy. He's crazy. He's crazy like me. That leprechaun's on mushroom. He's crazy. He's crazy like me.
I got a quarterback of shrooms and 3 McDouble. A big summer mountain dew, a bad blunt of purple. Yes, purple, purple. I think I'm seeing purple. You think you're seeing what, man? I think I'm seeing circles, man. I'm so high, I can't feel my face. We going on this escapade. The trip down journey in a Chevrolet. Fog out the windows, fish bowl in the haze. Started out right and now we lost in the maze. Lost in the maze, lost in the maze. No sense of direction and we stuck in the day. Stuck in the day, stuck in the day. Zoning. So I play it cool, I take it smooth. I ain't gonna be the dude that look the fool. Feels like I'm falling from the sky, but yet I'm trapped in the burner room. No gravity like I'm walking on the moon. You still say it's in my head, but I swear it's all true. Killer came down the field and myself and T-True. Posted in the Cadillac doing shrooms.
Let's have a good time. Yes, mushroom. I'm going fucking crazy.